like if
I
you're
could
an
have
American
converted.
Jew,
She has dual citizenship. I
but
could be wrong, but I'll bet you can do that.
haven't American Jews gone over there to avoid prosecution?
Um, well, every
Isn't that?
country does that. I mean, that's
But isn't that a thing? Like American Jews, if someone's coming after them in America?
I thought Meyer Lansky tried. Oh, am I thinking of The Godfather with the guy hit the car?
Yeah. Yeah, right. No, Meyer Lansky, did he do that? But I think there's a thing. Applicants must meet one of the following requirements. One, have at least one Jewish birth parent, or two, have converted to Judaism. That's easy.
Well, my wife
That's
would
it.
have been that. Yeah.
You don't need to be religious to qualify to fit in our trips. In fact, many of our participants...
Oh, you're talking about birthright.
Yeah.
So he goes. That's what I'm saying. The ADL guy goes. We need the people that came up with birthright to put their heads on this TikTok thing.
Well, the Jewish thing is a wild thing because it's a race that you can join.
No, it's not.
Right?
It's a
Because
religion.
people think of it as a race.
Well, you know why? Because Hitler thought of it that way, sure. Also, a lot of Zionists think of it that way. A bunch of Jewish people don't. You know, ultra-Orthodox Jews? Which I always liked ultra because that's like...
Right, but you have to accept that some people feel that Jewish is a race.
Called anti-Semites.
No, but there's like people that feel...
Yeah. So I'm gonna wind that stupid part. The anti-Semites think that it's a race. Well, the Israelites is a race. It literally tells you seed, 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 seed. A race of people, right? But his whole thing is to be deception. You know, he even tried to throw that little line out from somebody else to try to mislead the whole conversation. That's why he looked around.
You don't need to be religious to qualify to fit in our trips. In fact, many of our participants...
Oh, you're talking about birthright.
Yeah.
So he goes. That's what I'm saying. The ADL guy goes. We need the people that came up with birthright to put their heads on this TikTok thing.
Well, the Jewish thing is a wild thing because it's a race that you can join.
No, it's not.
Right?
It's a
because
religion.
people think of it as a race.
Well, you know why? Because Hitler thought of it that way, sure. Also, a lot of Zionists think of it that way. A bunch of Jewish people don't. You know, ultra-Orthodox Jews? Which I always liked ultra because that's like...
Right, but you have to accept that some people feel that Jewish is a race.
Called anti-Semites.
No, but there's like people that feel like there's a bunch of different races and Jewish is one of them.
I don't feel like...
Yeah. And they're, well, not Jewish, but the Jews. Right? Yeah, so this is Genesis chapter 17, verse 4. As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thus shall be the father of many nations. Right? So we know that this is Abraham, and this is many, many years after the flood. So the nations came from Ham, Shem, and Japheth, right? So what many nations is it talking about? It's talking about that the nation of Israel is going to be 12 tribes, and it's going to be 12 nations from those 12 tribes, right? Yeah, so come right here. This is a genealogical from Noah to the 12 patriarchs, with the 12 patriarchs, which meaning the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Going from Noah, right? Because we already know that all the nations come from Shem, Japheth, and Ham. So how is Abraham going to become many nations, or Jacob become many nations? Why? Because it's talking about the 12 tribes, right? Because what we already know that the youngest son of Noah, born 96 years before the flood, he became the progenitors to the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negroes, which mean we're not African, right? Because what comes out of Ham, right? Cush, Put, Canaan, right? That's what they try to claim, that the so-called African American is, which African and American do not even go together. Doesn't make sense, right? We know uh what Mizraim is really what they call Egypt, right? Right, which Egypt is a Greek name, right? But it goes from what? Arphaxad, Salah, Eber, Pele, Rhea, Ryu, Shug, 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 Shugug, Nara, Terah, and then Abraham, right? And then from Abraham and Sarah, what Sarah gave birth to Isaac with Rebekah, which gave forth to Jacob and Esau. But the lineage, as you can see, it's all they're showing you the pattern in red. And Jacob wrestled with the angel, which we read that, and became Israel. No longer should you be called Jacob, you should be called what? Israel. And the 12 patriarchs, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Simeon, Gad, Asher, and Dan, Naphtali, Joseph, and Benjamin, which the Lord removed Dan and Joseph and gave it to Ephraim and Manasseh, right? Because when you go into the New Testament, right, it's Ephraim and Manasseh. See, because the Lord does a new thing in the earth, right? So, as you can see, patriarch dealing with genealogical geno, which means your seed, which is sperm, which obviously, yes, it's it's a nationality, it's a people, and we're a people before a place, right? His name was Israel before a land. We were the Israelites before actually even getting into the land. I'm saying the land is an afterthought. So wherever we're at, we're Israel, right? Scattered in the four corners, the four winds of the earth. Yeah. So this is Genesis 35, and as you can see, the headliner is Jacob is named Israel. So Jacob name became Israel. So these people are calling themselves Israel or Israelis or whatever, however they want to call it. You know, that's how you know they're making up stuff, right? Because you're an Israeli, but then you're not a nationality. You're not a people. You're just a religion, but then you're not a religion. You're a people, or you're not a people, but then someone could say anti-Semitism, and that's supposed to mean some type of racism or some type of something, but you're not a race, right? Or you are a race, but not entirely. You know, forked tongue. Everything is forked tongue with you, that which proves that you're the devil. You know what I mean? You talk on both sides of your tongue, both sides of your face, but you know, the dude was being very devilish when he was doing what he was doing. So it says, and God said unto him, Thy name is called Jacob. Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob. Right? And no more called Jacob. But Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel or Yasha'Allah. He Prince God, right? Or power. He Prince of Power, right? Which makes sense, right? Son of Gods, right? If God is the king, your son will be what? A prince. So Yasha Allah, he Prince of God or Prince of Power, right? And the Most High Yahweh said unto him, I am Yahweh Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply, a nation and a company of nations, right? Because we already know that all the nations came out of should I say, Shum, Ham, and Japhet, right? Right? So, if we know all the nations, so what company of nations is it talking about? Talking about the 12 tribes, right? And then you also have the Israelite foreigners, because they're going to look like other nations and be speaking the other nations' language because they grew up amongst them and they look like them. But there's going to be a certain thing, a certain spirit that's going to be on them that allows them to veer from that and actually follow the truth of Yahweh Shemel Shai, which you're seeing that all over the world, all over the internet, which that's why they want to shut the internet down, right? And it says, and a company of nations shall be of thee, right, coming from him, right, which is a lineage, because if you're an Israelite, right, and kings shall be out of thy what? Loins. So we're literally coming from his loins. When he had sex with Rachel and Leah, those that came from his loins, man. Having those 12 patriarchs, man. And then hey, come on now. And the land which I gave to Abraham, right? Going back to the lineage, this is father, direct lineage, father, and Isaac, to thee will I give it, and thy seed, which is talking about that genealogical. You know what I'm saying? So what the freak is this dude talking about, man? Right? After thee will I give the land, right? So that's who's supposed to have the land. But those people in the land, they don't, out of his own mouth, it's not a race. Only some of the Jews say that. But the other Jews, it's just a religion. And other Jews say they don't believe in God or the religion or in the whole thing of the Orthodox or whatever, however this dude was talking about, or what the Zionist believes, right? So it's just a big ball of absolute confusion over there, right? But the Lord said, when we get in that land, there should be no need to teach thy neighbor, because we'll be in the land and there will be no need to teach your neighbor. So obviously they in the need of teaching their neighbors, because he in the need to teach them, oh, we're not a nationality, we're just a religion. Or wait a minute, we're not a religion because I don't believe in religion. But then I don't believe in nationality either. I don't believe that we're national. We just are. We just is. There's no whatever. I don't know. You could just claim some shit and not really be a nationality or be a race. Hey, but you could claim anti-Semitism, which is like a form of saying racism. So you have to be a race to claim racism. But he's saying he's not a race. Hey, see, that's these devils, man. I'm sorry I'm ranting because it actually pisses you off, man. But hey, man, be angry and sin not, right? So it says and the so con. So Genesis 17, I guess I'm gonna skip down to 5. Neither shall thy name anymore be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham. So the Lord's in the business of changing your name. I remember when I wasn't even in the truth yet, but someone came up to me and told me that the Lord was going to change my name like he did Jacob, right? I was at a church at a apostolic church, and someone said that the Lord came up to me and said the Lord told me to tell you that He's going to change your name like He did Jacob, right? So and later on, bit by bit, I later on found the truth, which not one too short, not too long after that, right? I found the truth after that happened, right? Neither shall thus be named anymore called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham, for a father of many nations, right? Because Jacob came out of him, right? And Jacob in himself is a nation and a company of nations, right? Because all 12 tribes became their own nation in itself. Many nations shall come of thee, and kings shall come out of thee, right? And I will establish my covenant between me, right, which is the Most High Yahweh, to His only begotten Son, and thee, right, and him, and talking to Abraham, right, and to thy seed, right, which we already know. It said that it went from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob. We just seen that in the geological chart, right? And it actually tells you that in the scriptures from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It tells you that all the time, which those people are seed, right? He actually had sex with his mother, and had sex with his mother. You know what I'm saying? This ain't somebody just came out of middle of nowhere, just for sake of nothing, just to, it's his seed line, seed line, seed line. There's actually people, right? Right. Matter of fact, covenant between me, thee, and what? Thy seed, right? And then here we are, blue letter, Genesis 17 and 7, right? Establish you the covenant between thee, me, and thee, and what? Thy seed, right? So we're going to go into me, thee, and what? Thy seed. Zerah.
Strong's H2233. Zerah. Zerah.
Zerah, seed sowing, offspring, right? Seed sowing, offspring, descendants, right? Children. Let's see if there's anything else. Sown seed, produce, yielding seed, bearing, conceiving, right? Yeah, you conceive children, right? Children, offspring, descendants, right? Children. Let's see. Carnally, children, fruitful, right? And then that's another way they say you having children, being fruitful, right? Hence, seed, winter. See nothing right there. But yeah, go into your children, basically having children. You see offspring's children, right? Patriarch, right? Patriarchal, which is the father, right? Going his loins or his sperm to a woman having a baby. It's plain and simple. It's just that easy, man. Me, thee, and thy seed after thee, in their generations. Generations is another thing of going into generation, going to bloodline, right? For an everlasting, right, means forever, so it's never gonna go away. Covenant to be a power unto you and to thy seed forever. Oh yeah, after thee. So like, and thy seed after thee, which is forever, right? Forever to be a power unto thee and thy seed after thee. Thy seed, thy children, thy genos, the generations, seed, generation, seed, fruitful. I don't know how many. Be fruitful and multiply, which basically means to have children, right? I don't understand. They're not a people. They're not a. It's not a generation to generation to generation, right? Of course it is. There are people. You know what I mean? How can you, yeah. So this is First Peter chapter 2 verse 9. First Peter chapter 2 verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, talking to the Israelites, right? Not talking to anybody else, talking about the Israelites. A royal priesthood, right? And holy nation, right? And matter of fact, now you can prove that. Yeah, so this is Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 1. Ye are the children of Yahweh, which talking about the children of Israel. Because the Lord only picked Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but Jacob's name got changed to Israel, so we know we're talking about the Israelites, or the Jacobites, which are the Israelites at the end of the day, right? You're the children of Yahweh, your power. Ye shall not cut yourselves, right? Dealing with the laws, right? You're not supposed to make tattoos or cuttings in your flesh, worshiping other gods, beating yourself, cutting yourself, worshiping these other gods, right? Nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead, right? And these are the law, statutes, commandments that the Lord only gave to the Israelites. This wasn't given to every nation because most nations are doing it. These are heathenistic customs. And He just telling them don't do these things, right? For thus art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power, and Yahweh thy power have chosen, right? Picked, selected, right? What is it called? Election, elected, right? Election, right? Chosen thee to be a peculiar people, right? We're different than everybody. It's peculiar the way we get down, even to this very day. It's peculiar that these people happen to have a genealogical lineage that goes from this person to this person to this person, that goes through their genes, and those people are called Israelites, and it's called a nationality. It's called, you know what I mean? It's amazing, right? You can't, tether between it being a religion and a nationality, and then you always leave it somewhere in between. So the question's never really answered. Because whenever you ask these so-called Jewish people or Israeli people, they're, well, the other people say that, but other people think this, and then they walk away. And that's basically what dude did, right? A straight up forked tongue. Salakia. Yeah. Holy people, to Yahweh, that power I've chosen thee to be a peculiar to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all nations. See, so that it proves that these people are a nation. So it said, hey, you're a nation of people, and you're a peculiar nation, but I want you to be above all the other nations of people, right? That are upon the face of the earth. Deuteronomy 14:2. It has it right here. Deuteronomy 2:14:2. Just get to the point, above all nations upon the face of the earth. Well, let's go into the understanding of the word nation.
Strong's H 5971. Am.
Am.
Second entry.
Or am. Or am. Nation, people, nations, persons, members of one people, right? A nation of people, right? Countrymen, kinsmen, kindred, right? They're related. Nation. So the Israelites have to be a nation. These are peculiar people above all the other nations. This is a nation of people, right? You can just make this up, and you're in between. Some people, oh, that's come from a different one. Dim, darken, grow darken, dim, eclipse. That wasn't necessarily. Um, but I guess that was the root of um folk, flock, men, nation, people, as those of the Israelites, right? Especially a tribe as of those of the Israelites, right? See? So I'll go back to this. 1 Peter 2:9. But ye are a chosen generation, right? Peculiar people. Basically the same thing. A royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, right? Going back into it. That ye should show forth the praise of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Right? We're the Israelites. Hey, you got to show the praise of him that said you're above all nations, above all kindreds, people, kinsmen, kinfolks, all these people who are related to each. Hey, all these other nations, you're above them. You got to praise them. Right? Yeah, with all that, I want to give all praises and all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Basham, Yahweh Shai, Basham, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. Salutations to the Akim and the Four Winds, preaching the truth of sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akhwathiim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. And a Baba Ball.